Hi everyone, it's Dawn coming to you from Decoupage Digital Designs. Today I'm going to do the first video of a series of videos that I had mentioned that I was going to do. I'm going to break these videos up into about 7 short videos. I'm going to talk about bottle art. I'm going to tell you everything that you'll need or want. A lot of things are optional, but give you all the information on things that you can acquire to decorate your bottles. Now, everyone has their own unique style. I am not copying from anybody. I have gotten inspiration off of a lot of Facebook groups, and then I just do my own thing. I'm putting out these videos because I get a lot of messages of people asking what kind of ribbon I use, what kind of toppers, what kind of paint, and where I get them. So I figured that if I do a few different videos and take it in steps, that I can break it down for you and make it easier and answer all your questions this way. The information that I give you, as I said, I have acquired this information from other YouTubers, Facebook people, and did my own research, and I figured why not pass it along. This art is not a secret. It's becoming very popular, and people have their own style. So everything that I do in my videos is what I do. It's things that I have learned from other people, and I just figured I am very dedicated to this group, Decoupage Digital Designs, and I thought that I would share the things that I have learned through other people. So today's video, we're going to talk about the different kinds of bottles, where you can get them, and what you need to prep them for the next step, which is painting them. So I'm going to give you a list of the materials, and then I'm going to show you some bottles and explain what the materials are used for. First off, you're going to need bottles. Any kind of bottles will do. You can get ones with the tops. If they don't have tops, there's a solution for that. You can order tops on Amazon, which I will get into in another video. But you need bottles, any type of bottles. We're also going to need some Mod Podge, some type of primer. There's 2 ways to prime these bottles. You're going to need a paintbrush, alcohol, and sponge daubers. So that's pretty much all you're going to need to start off this project. Okay, so today it's about bottles and prepping your bottles. So the different kinds of bottles out there are many, and you can use whatever you want. I'm going to show you the collection of bottles that I have and where that I've been able to get them. So the first bottle here is a wine bottle. This is a 750 milliliter wine bottle. I got these from Amazon. They do not come with tops. Okay, but again, like I said in another video, I will tell you how you can solve that. But these are wine bottles from Amazon. I forget how many I got in a case, but they're inexpensive. Okay, 750 milliliters. Then we have these 17-ounce flask bottles. I also purchased these off of Amazon. They come with this pressurized cap, but it pops right off. Okay, and you can do whatever you want with this. And then you'll have a little hole there, but once you decorate it and put ribbon around it, it really doesn't matter. These are another nice bottle. They're 17-ounce flask bottles. I got these from Amazon. Okay, and again, they come with these pressurized tops, which you're not going to want to use, but you will be able to find tops to fit this. The next bottle, this is a 12-ounce syrup bottle. I purchased these off of Amazon, and none of these bottles are overly expensive, and you can probably get all of these bottles off of Etsy also, but I'm going to tell you my source of where I got them. So this is a 12-ounce syrup bottle. Now they do come with screw-on caps. okay, which you can use them, okay? 12-ounce syrup bottles purchased from Amazon. Then another popular bottle to use is a Crown Royal bottle. Now, these bottles you have to acquire from your friends or from bars. I do have a couple of hookups, bartenders that are getting these bottles, and Crown seems to be the drink because I got so many of these Crown bottles. You can order them off of Etsy. I've seen them on on Etsy, but I think that if you can get a hookup from a bar, you'll get a lot of Crown bottles. It seems to be what a lot of people drink. Not quite sure the ounce of this, but this is the bigger one. I'm going to show you a smaller one. It is full, but I'm showing it to you for the size. Sure. I don't really know what size this is, but this is the smaller Crown bottle. Okay, you can see the difference. I have used both. Both make very beautiful bottles. So you've got the smaller Crown bottle and the larger Crown bottle. Again, can be purchased off of Etsy or get a hookup from your local bars. Then the next bottle that I like to use is a Jack Daniel's bottle. Okay, this is another bottle that you can purchase off of Etsy or from a local bar. Ask them if they, would give you some of their empty bottles. Some of the bottles that I get from the bars do not come with tops because, in the bars they have those other, pour spouts that they use. So I guess they throw the tops away. But again, I will show you how to solve that in a later video. So this is a Jack Daniel's bottle. Again, I am not quite sure of the size, but it seems to be a pretty average size. They also have the big ones with the handles on them. I don't use those. So this is a Jack Daniel's bottle. And when I do a bottle like this, I only do an image on the front, but you have 4 sides that you can do images on. I just choose to do it on one side. Usually put a clay embellishment maybe on the back. Okay, so that's a Jack Daniel's bottle. Then we have your Woodford Reserve bottle. Now this is a really nice shaped bottle. This is actually a 1 liter. It's a 750 milliliter, which is a 1 liter Woodford Reserve. They also have a larger one, but it's a little bit too large. This I did purchase off of Etsy, and again, maybe from a local bar, but cannot get these on Amazon. This I did purchase from Etsy. This is a Woodford Reserve 1 liter bottle. And it did come with a top. I just don't have it on right now. Then the next bottle that I use is a Bulleit Bourbon bottle. Now this bottle comes in a couple of sizes, and when I first purchased one, I got the bigger size, and I didn't realize that a 1.75 liter is huge, but I made 2 bottles from that, and I have 2 more that I'm going to make bottles from. They make great bottles, but they're very big bottles. So this Bulleit bottle, this is a 1 liter Bulleit bottle. Got this off of Etsy. Can't get this off of Amazon. I mean, you can, I think you can buy it full, but you can't get an empty bottle. So, you can get these from a bar or, someone off of Etsy. But this size is a 1 liter, which is 750 milliliters. So the next bottle, this is the 1.75 Bulleit bottle. It's a beautiful bottle. So this is 1.75 liters. I think it's like 1,500 or 1,700 milliliters. But this bottle is huge. It makes a beautiful bottle. I did a patriotic bottle and I did a Old West bottle with this, and it's beautiful, but it's very, very large. So this is the large and this is the small. So you can see the difference in the sizes. Okay, so this is the one that I really want to work with, but I have a couple more of these that I will produce some bottles with, and they come with their own cap. caps. Again, depends on where you get them from. I bought this particular bottle off of Etsy. But you can probably get a hookup at a bar and get these. I don't really know how popular this this kind of stuff is, but it's a beautiful bottle if you can get your hands on. But again, this is the 1.75 liters. It's huge compared to the 1 liter. And then I have one more bottle that I have not used yet, and it is primed, so I didn't think about it. But it's called Angel's Envy is the name of the, I guess, the liquor that comes in it. And I have primed it already, but if you can see on the back, it's got a set of angel wings. And, I mean, it looks beautiful, but, you know, you can't use the bottle clear. It just won't work, but... once I get this painted and textured, you won't see any of it, which is another point that I'll make right now. If you have a bottle that has, you know, most bottles come with labels. I'll also go over how you take those labels off. And some bottles have words on them, or like this one has these etched angel wings. Once you prime it and then you paint it, you're not going to see any of it. So if a bottle has writing on it, don't worry about it. Just, you know, go ahead and go over it. Again, I'm not quite sure of the size of this one, but it's called Angel's Envy. That's the shape of the bottle. I purchased this one off of Etsy. Cannot find this on Amazon. So two other things. So those are the bottles that I have tried, or I have been using, or I'm going to try. You know, you can use any bottles you want. You can stick with one type of bottle, but those are the bottles. And I actually found a bottle company on Etsy. If you're interested, message me. Their bottles are, you know, pretty cheap. I didn't really spend a lot. I think I spent $4 for this bottle. And then, of course, there's shipping, and because it's glass, the shipping gets a little bit expensive. But the person I've been buying from off of Etsy is pretty reasonable, and I'm lucky because I'm in Florida, and they actually are shipping from Florida, so I get these like within a day or two of ordering it. As far as labels go, to get these labels off, my husband usually takes them off for me, but you can go online, and there's several different ways. Some people use a product to get it off. What I find is I take a little scraper like this. It's actually for my stovetop, and I just run this under hot water, put a little soap on it, and then I just scrape it off with the scraper, and then I, you know, add some soap and get the glue stuff off of it, and then I wipe it with alcohol, and it takes the labels off very easily. There's also a technique where they say to put hot water in the bottle and let it sit, and then you know, some labels peel right off. But there's a bunch of different ways that you can remove your labels. It's not difficult to do. You can look it up online, but that's the way I do mine. I just run it under hot water, put a little soap, and then just you know, scrape it with some type of a scraper. So those are the two other things I wanted to say. Oh no, that was the one thing. The other thing I wanted to tell you about bottles, some people were asking, you know, what do you do with a bottle that has raised lettering? Me personally, I do nothing with it. I think it looks pretty cool with the raised lettering. So after I get this bottle done and textured, and you can see the words through it, you could highlight the words a little bit or just leave it. I don't try to cover it up with anything. So wherever there's writing on the bottle, I just leave it be. You know, this other bullet bottle, you know, the smaller one, all that wording, I'm not gonna hide it. I'm gonna, if I put a clay embellishment on the back, I'm just gonna do it underneath. I'm not gonna try to cover up the raised lettering. The Jack Daniels bottle has a little bit of raised lettering here. It says Jack Daniels. I just do my painting and just let it be. I don't worry about that coming through. I think it makes it look authentic and, you know, pretty cool. So that's as far as the bottles go. Now, as far as the products, so you're going to need your alcohol, because before you do any kind of priming on your bottle, you should wipe it down with alcohol and a paper towel or some kind of cloth, just to clean all the grease and dirt or whatever's on it. Then after you do that, then what you do is you're going to prep your bottle for painting. Usually there's a couple different ways to do it. It's to help avoid the paint from chipping off. And I have to say, although the couple of techniques work, there is still a chance that if you nick your bottle enough, hard enough, you're going to chip the paint off. But it's not as delicate as you think it is. So I wouldn't be too concerned about it, but you should really prep your bottle. So the first way to prep your bottle is you take your clean bottle and you take some Mod Podge, and you go ahead and put a coat of Mod Podge over your bottle. Now you can choose to put it on with a paintbrush, or how I like to do it, and a lot of people I see do it, you use these sponge daubers, okay? The Mod Podge you can get from your local craft store or off of Amazon. Paintbrushes, same thing, local craft store, off of Amazon. These sponge daubers, I get mine from Amazon. I've seen them in the local craft stores, but I think it's more cost effective to get them off of Amazon. And they come in a few different sizes. If you're going to put your your Mod Podge on your bottle, it's probably best to use a bigger size. It just covers more space. And what you would do is take your Mod Podge. I did show this in a previous video. You can see where I showed how to texture bottles, how to apply it. But you would dip the dauber in the Mod Podge and you would just sponge a coat of Mod Podge all over your bottle. And then you would let it dry very well. I would let it dry a couple of hours. If you don't let it dry good enough, when you apply your paint, you're going to get cracks. I mean, that's what I have noticed. So after you do the Mod Podge, you're gonna have to let it dry for a couple of hours. Then, after you use the Mod Podge, you're gonna use something that, don't mind my cap, it's a mess. This is called gesso. This is from Liquitex. This is a primer. I got this from Amazon. I found Liquitex products in my craft store, but I have not been able to find the gesso. It's like a white paint, and what it is, it primes your bottles to help the paint adhere to the bottle. So how you would apply this to your bottle, same thing. You take a dauber and you pour this into a little cup, stick your dauber in it, and you sponge it all over the bottle and get every spot. Okay, and then after that, I would let that dry another hour or so before before you would go ahead and apply the paint. There is a few hours of drying time, so sometimes I will prep a few bottles if I use this technique and let them sit, because there is a lot of drying time, and I am a very impatient person. I don't like to wait for shipping. I don't like to wait for things to dry, but you really have to. It's very important to let things dry. You have to let them dry, whether you like it or not. It's just going to get a better result. So that's what the gesso is for. Now the other technique that you can use, and I have done this way before, like I tried it on other things before, and then when I started doing bottles, I saw the other technique with the Mod Podge and the gesso. But then I also saw someone go back to this technique, so I decided to try it, and it does cut down the time a lot. So what I did was I used this Krylon paint and primer, and it is a spray paint. So for people that can't use spray paint, I don't suggest you use this. But if you're going to use this, you have to do it outside where it's well ventilated. And what I do is I just go ahead and I clean my bottle with alcohol, and then I just use this. I use this instead of the Mod Podge or the gesso, because this dries. I do 2 coats of this on my bottle. I let it dry for about 15 minutes, and then I go ahead and do another coat, let that dry for another 15 minutes. So, and then it's ready to go. So it does cut down on the prep time, and then you can get to your bottle quicker. So this Angel's Envy is the bottle that I primed with this spray primer. And I've done a few bottles like this so far, and it's been okay. I mean, if you scratch your bottle hard enough, this is gonna come off, but the idea is to prime it so that the paint adheres. So I have done a couple of bottles like this. I've liked the result. It's been no problem. And like I said, you can get to your bottle a lot quicker if you use this. But those are the 2 techniques of priming your bottle, and you can choose, whichever technique works, best for you. Some people don't like using spray paint because of the fumes and, so those are the products that you need to prep your bottles for, painting them. There was something else I wanted to mention and I can't remember now. But yeah, so that is the whole prepping technique. That is what you do to get your bottle ready to go. And once you do that, your bottle will be ready for painting. And the next video that I put out will go to the next thing, which is applying your image, varnishing the image, and then painting the different kinds of paints and what you can use to do that part of your bottle. And then in other videos I'm going to show you the embellishments I use and where I get them. But this is something that I wanted to do, and I just thought it would help. Like I said, there's a lot of questions that are being asked, and I really did want to mention something else and I completely forgot. But if I think about it, I know what I want. I know what I wanted to tell you guys. A little trick, a little tip, not a trick, a tip with your daubers. If you use a dauber, whether you use it for sponge painting or priming or using, applying Mod Podge, I used to go through these like crazy because I used to use it one time and then I would throw it in the garbage. But you don't have to do that. So if I go ahead and Mod Podge my bottle, I take a piece of clear wrap and wrap it around, twist it, make sure no air gets to it, and set it aside. If I use one to put my gesso on, I do the same thing. If I use it to do some sponge painting, do the same thing. After I'm done with it, instead of rinsing it, washing it, or throwing it away, I just wrap a piece of plastic wrap on it, twist it on there so that the air doesn't get to it, just set it aside, and you can use it over and over and over again. So that, I have one for the Mod Podge, I have one for the gesso, and I just grab those with whichever product I'm using. And you can use it for quite a while before eventually you have to throw it away, but you can use it for quite a while before you have to throw it away. As long as you keep that plastic wrap on it, they won't dry out. So that was the other tip that I wanted to give you, and I'm glad I remembered it. So that's it for today. Again, if you would, we have our own YouTube channel that we started, and if you would go ahead and go over to YouTube and search Decoupage Digital Designs, and if you would subscribe and like our channel, we really would appreciate it. We appreciate you all for being here. We appreciate your support. Check out, if you go to the main page and you scroll over to the albums tab, check out all the beautiful images that Penny has to offer. She comes out with new ones every single week. She's got a whole group of zodiacs out now, which is really exciting, and I want to get started on those. She's got an album of her bottle toppers. And what you see in the albums is not the end of it. If you see something that you want and is not there, just give her a shout out and give her a message, and she can customize pretty much whatever you have in mind. So go ahead and check all that stuff out, and get started on your bottles, and just create and have fun. I am not a professional at this. I am not an expert. What I'm showing you is what I use, and what I use is what I've learned from other people. And like I said, I'm dedicated to this Facebook page, so I want to share. I want people to be able to just stay, be able to find things all in the same spot. We have all these videos posted in our Facebook, on our Facebook page under the features tab, and we have our YouTube channel, and I have videos covering shells, cutting boards, wine stoppers, not just bottles. This is just a phase that I'm in now. It's a phase that's getting popular. So everything that I'm showing you, I've learned from other people, and I'm just trying to make it easy for a one-stop shopping, if you will, where you can find images, bottle toppers, and instructions on how to create things. So I hope this helped, And excited for the next video. And like I said, we'll take it step by step, and hopefully by the end of this series of videos, you will be able to go ahead and create your own bottles. And again, you can always follow someone's technique, but everyone always comes up with their own. And that's what creating is, making it your own. So I thank everybody out in the Facebook world and in YouTube for all the inspiration that I get, and I hope that this can be an inspiration to you guys. So have a great day, and I will see you soon.